Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Mr. Amish, Sensual Goat, Mitch Kennedy, Rod the Name's Burley, Todd Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, J Mels24, Unimento, M Iron26, Endless, Golden McKiernan, Retro Bill, Level Playing Poem, Canna Bear, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Good morning, Nathan.
I love
Morning.
it.
And panel.
I mean, this place was a dump whenever I in the trailers all cluttered with a bunch of furniture and stuff. I moved it out of the way, and like the next day, my friends came over there. Is like walked in there. This ain't the same house, you know, making a joke about it. But yeah, I'm happy and content with what I got here. Seems pretty cool.
They say home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
Mush, are you still there?
Yo, I'm here, brother. What's up?
Maybe bring up that the Weiss interview you were talking about now that Nathan's here.
Oh, I did, bro. I left it in Skype yesterday. Good morning, Nathan. I don't know if he saw them.
What am I looking at?
I left a couple of clips yesterday. Dave Weiss. Oh man, I gotta explain this again. He had an interview with Peggy Hall, who's a YouTuber. She was in my opinion, like a superhero woman. She was helping people throughout the Rona hoax as far as the masks and, you know, how to avoid all that stuff. So Dave Weiss had an interview with her. And it was pretty much an hour of nonsense. And he brought up space, said how he loved space. And space makes much more sense on flat Earth and stuff like that. I don't think the whole vid is worth a review because it was just a bunch of nonsense. 1 hour of how could they lie? You know, why would they lie? And comparing it to other conspiracies. But he did mention that it could be toroidal field, flat plane surrounded with a toroidal field. And he did mention that he loves space. He said space makes much more sense on flat Earth. So I thought it was interesting. I made a couple of clips. I left it in Skype. But the whole vid is not worth the review. But if anybody wants to watch it, I'll post it. I put the clips in the main chat here, and I left the clips in Skype yesterday.
Okay, I've got them
If
queued
you
up,
want-
so we'll cover them on the live show, right?
Yeah, because the whole vid is definitely not worth the covering. But just those two clips,
One's
because
10
he brings up
seconds,
the road.
and the other
Yeah.
is 11 seconds.
Yep.
Okay.
So he never mentioned anything, any FE facts. It's not like nothing like it's measured flat or no second law of thermodynamics, none of that. Not only that, again, he said like that, all his favorite movies have to do with space, and he loves space, and the space makes much more sense on flat Earth. I says, what, man? I slapped my forehead, dude, like I couldn't believe what he said. But hey, that's the Dave Weiss for you.
Well, we'll address it.
Yeah. I still don't have a lot against him, honestly. I don't see like, yeah, some people say he's a Mason, this, that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he could be just ignorant, you know. He could be just that he hates you guys. Maybe he thinks these arguments come from you guys. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to mention it. It could be that. But yeah, man, he doesn't have much going on as far as speaking up for flat Earth. He's not the best.
Who are you talking about? I just got here. Hello.
Dave Weiss, what's up, Neil? Dave Weiss, bro. I don't know if you saw the clips. I put them in Skype yesterday. They're very short. If you want, just check it out. You should watch the whole interview. Actually, they talk about Bible a lot, and because Peggy Hall's husband is a pastor, and she's always been a flat earther, but she's mostly like a flat earther because she kind of trusts her senses and she believes in Bible, and she calls the Earth non-spinning world. So she doesn't go too much into the FE topic, but every once in a while she brings it up on her videos when she says like, "What in the non-spinning world is going on?" And so she's been a flat earther for many years, but this is the first time she had an interview with someone who's actually a flat earther, right? She did Flat Earth Dave. And again, it was 1 hour of like, oh my gosh, man, like it was really long and hard.
Is he a flat earther?
Who, Dave? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm starting to question it, to be honest. It's very shady, bro. For what, to me, any flat earther that talks for 1 hour and doesn't mention the second law of thermodynamics and explains it, and not only that, says that space makes more sense on flat Earth, and he loves space. Oh man, I don't know, dude.
Well, that gave away the game right there. Same with Richard, same with Bob Nodell, same with all of them. That's why they can't let it go.
I've heard Vincent talk about second law, you know, to many people, you know, so I can't put him on the same boat. You know what I mean? Dave Weiss didn't even mention it. And again, he loves space. All his favorite movies are about space. And he thinks that space makes much more sense than flat Earth. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah.
If he feels that she's ignorant, though, he might just be trying to make an ally of her, you know?
Wait, who's the lady you're talking about? I didn't get that.
Nobody should say anything bad about Peggy. Peggy is an amazing woman, dude. She's just unsuspecting. I don't even know how to call it. Like I don't think it's her that reached out to Dave. I believe that Dave reached out to her.
That's what I'm starting to think. I think they're reaching out to all these people because I'm thinking, how is it that they get all the calls?
You need a PR team, Nathan.
No, I think he reaches out, dude. Like he's just that kind of a guy, you know. He's trying to sell his app, bro. Like he mentioned this app like at least few times throughout the whole interview. Oh, it's like one-time charge, like get it for $3. All the memes are there. Everything you need is there. So he's an app salesman. I mean, you can't blame him for that, bro. Like people try to make money anyhow they can. But I do blame him for not mentioning the second law and a lot of other facts surrounding the flat Earth. You know? But you can't blame the man for whatever. He's got to make the money the way he's making the money, dude. He sells his app. That's what he does. You know?
It was thanks to David Weiss that I found Nathan Oakley 1980. It wasn't thanks to YouTube's algorithm. And I had no interest in searching or listening to any anti-flat earthers at the time. It was thanks to a shout out from David Weiss on one of his many podcasts he did with people.
Okay, so the same with me.
Neil, I can't hear what he's saying because you've just immediately opened your line, middle of his sentence. There's no way he'd paused. Now we've got traffic noise and I can't hear what he's saying.
Sorry.
I think that route is now closed, unfortunately, for a lot of people. But when it was to his own detriment to shout out Nathan. I think he was naive to that at the time because the information is far more refined here. So in the end, I just slowly start watching his videos and watch more here. So he's probably realized that now. And if you can't outdo your competitor, you've got to sell something different if you're selling a product. So that's what he's doing to me.
Okay, you done now? Is it okay to speak? I am driving. I am
Go
on the
ahead.
phone. I
It's
do
just
freaking apologize.
don't do that. Is it okay to interrupt him in the middle of his sentence? Not really. That's what you did.
I didn't hear him. He stopped.
He was in the middle of talking.
Look. All right, fine. Whatever. David Weiss was lined up with Nathan, and everything was fine. Nathan, he was sending people to try and prove a ball backed up by Bitcoin. If they could prove it, then they get the Bitcoin. And Nathan was defending that. So what happened? Answer me that.
I don't know. Ask Dave.
And as far as David Weiss, yeah, he's the first one I heard flat earth debate from his lips on a Ball Busters one time. He mentioned them, and I didn't even know who the heck flat earth debate was. And I'm glad he did. So, yeah, I guess David Weiss is a useful idiot.
Well,
Is there someone talking? Do I have someone muted?
No, there was just a prolonged silence after
Oh,
Neil
okay.
slagged Dave Weiss off for a little bit.
It's not slagging him off, Nathan. You got to ask the question: what happened out of nowhere? Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, we're bad.
Yeah, we know why we're bad. We stand in contravention of their rhetoric about ether. They've got claims that they like to make, Dave Weiss especially, where he likes to claim he's got science. Got plenty of clips of Dave Weiss saying that's science when it's not. So the two turning points, if you want to look at it from my perspective, based on the limited information I've got, I don't know why he's turned against us. Because I can never know that. He's never going to tell me. He's not going to say, oh, I sat with Jaron and he was telling me I need to... he's not going to do that, is he? What I do know is that, number one, we stand in contradiction of their use of science when it isn't. It's pseudoscience. That's the first thing. The second is that upon trying to educate Dave in exactly that, he shut me down and cut me off and didn't want to know. So he wants to utilise that magic trick. That's what I do know. Now, is that the reason? I don't know. I just know the last interactions I had with him. Those were they.
Yeah, wasn't it like he kind of like brushed you off or something, saying like he was on a boat enjoying his weekend or something?
I tuned that stuff out. Yes, Dave was very obnoxious in that regard.
Yeah.
Well, when I first heard it, it was when he was on that video with that guy. There was four of them. And the guy mentioned Nathan Oakley. And he said, yeah, well, we won't be watching Flat Earth Debate. And I was shocked because at that time, Nathan was defending his Bitcoin. I remember putting a little remark in chat, and then Michael Kahn dug it up. We looked at it, and we like threw it aside like, it didn't mean anything. But yeah, it did. They were outright shooting us down.
Well, like I say, we're a
It's
threat.
a shame.
If their claims involve scientific validity for things they don't have science for, and we educate our audience on how to spot frauds in science claims, then we very much are their enemy, aren't we?
Yes.
Instead of looking at asking him, look at yourself, look inwardly. What do we do that would put someone like that off being in our company, being around us? Well, if we're a threat to what they do, and we are, because we expose the fraud that they utilise when they say science and haven't got any.
It's all a big illusion. That's what you realize.
What?
What's an illusion?
Everything they do is just a big illusion. It's just to make you think something else.
Who's they?
The entire globe idea. The entire idea of many things, honestly. But I mean, they'll give you, you know, math to back up nature violations. You know what I mean? It's just apologetics to get to fantasy.
Yeah, well,
And
I
it just
can't get
doesn't
around Earth
stop.
measured flat. Show me some math that it's not.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say it again, man. When you've been in this topic for all these years, like Dave Weiss has, and to have 1 hour with somebody who's fresh and not to be able to express everything that you know concisely, right? All the facts. And again, not to even mention the second law, like, dude, I don't know, kind of lost respect for Dave Weiss, knowing what he
Yeah,
knows,
right. At
because
least
I know he knows.
you're up to date,
How do you
right?
know? Hold on. How do you know he knows?
What do you mean? Because he had conversations with you and so many other people. I've heard him talk before.
Have you ever heard me say that I'll need the same thing repeating 10 times to me before I can have it squared away in my own mind to the point where I can confidently put it forward to another person? Have you ever heard me say that?
I'm sorry, say it again. Have I ever heard you say what?
That I'd need to hear it 10 more times.
Yeah, I did. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
So based on Dave hearing it 3 times, see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Would you not say that it's...
understanding, knowing, and teaching are 3 different things.
Yeah, but like
He's
you
heard
telling
it
me
more
after
than
all
10
these
times.
years that he doesn't know about the second law, bro?
It's not that he doesn't know, it's that he has an inability to teach it based on what John just said.
I mean, you can't say it even. You don't even have to, like, you can't say it in simple terms. Wow, they claim the vacuum is out there and we breathing pressurized gas. You can't have two next to each other. You don't even have to go into science just to explain it in simple words. I don't know, who was that? Somebody
That was
said
me. That was me just backing you up. I said that seems pretty simple to me.
Yeah, man. You don't gotta go into science, pseudoscience, none of that. You can just be able to say, like, okay, everything that Globe claims is science is pseudoscience. None of it went through scientific method. None of it is science. You can't say it like that.
Okay, let's just
My daughter
let's
can
just
say
put
that.
ourselves in an empathetic position for Dave. If you were Dave and you're a bit obnoxious, let's just say he was the worst of Dave, you could turn around and say, fine, that's what you want to preach to an audience, build up a reputation like I have, get in front of these people like I have, and you can preach whatever you like.
It's not about preaching.
Don't focus on the words I used when I played devil's advocate, Neil. My point is, right, Dave has got himself into a position where he can promote whatever he wants to whoever he wants, however he wants. Now, we can moan about it all we like, but the only thing you can do if you want to influence somebody else to behave in a certain way is to, like we're doing with the other servers, make friends with them, try and influence them onto your side, into your thinking, your way of doing things that is more effective by demonstration. So we're attempting to show others. That's my focus is going to be more on. This is going to piss everybody off, I know, but the land of misfit toys, as they've been derogatory labelled.
Oh my God!
That QE came up with. Well, these are the people. I've said this before. Brothers in arms. I'm talking dire straits. I'm talking in a literal sense that they're the ones out in the trenches arguing this stuff. Now, there's been a couple of times they for whatever reason, they resent us. Now, we've got a couple of choices. We can spend our focus, as QE suggested last time. This is going to sound very negative towards QE, but it is. We can spend our time and focus and energy on what happened to you guys? Why aren't you fighting the good fight anymore? End quote, QE. Or, alternatively, retain the focus that I've been trying to push for this year, which is go in and just educate them on how Earth's measured flat, so that regardless of their opinions of us, they can still hate us at the end of this. If they hear it 10 times, and they're us debating and winning with it 10 times, they'll go, wow, that's effective. And they will be able to repeat the process and win also. Yeah? That's how you spread the good arguments, by making friends and influencing people. So, in these circumstances, if it was a sales setting, there is only ever one option in terms of why this person hasn't made friends with you and been influenced by you, and that's you, or in this case, me. So Dave has not been influenced enough by me. He's not a close enough friend of mine for me to have had a strong enough influence on him. So, as much as we want to point the finger of blame at Dave, for whatever reason, I've not managed to diplomatically or efficiently shuffle around the feelings and thoughts of others in other groups to retain Dave's friendship. Therefore, you can blame me. You don't have to necessarily point the finger of blame at Dave Weiss for not knowing these arguments well enough to educate someone else in an interview, when he may have his own motives. And you can pour scorn on those motives if you choose to. But it's up to us, me, if I want to take ownership in this example, to try again. That is to say, if you want to influence Dave into doing something or behaving in a certain way beyond his ability to turn around and tell you, well, you build your own reputation and go out and do interviews and you can say what you like, then you've got to get him on your side. Now, that is a failure on my part. And every time in recent times when I've gone, well, I failed the same with Jared, I'll try again. That's all you can do. I failed again, and I will repeatedly fail with these people, with everyone around me saying, "Oh, just give up." It's like, well, then you'll never influence them.
Nathan, for somebody as smart as you really frustrate me sometimes because you're being so naive right now. You think they haven't heard and they don't know and they haven't understood how you break it down? Are you joking me? Come on, man.
So, you're telling me I haven't heard and seen and witnessed how Eric DeBay breaks things down? Yeah, I have. Is that my way of doing it? No. Is it Dave Weiss's way of doing it? No. Does that mean he doesn't know it? No. Now, had he been exposed to Eric DeBay using his information as an effective debating tool multiple times, there's a good chance he'd realise the effectiveness of it, regardless of his thoughts of Eric DeBay. That hasn't happened. So that's not how he behaves.
Has nothing to do with your failure to bring him in as a friend and educate him. He knows all these things.
So?
He don't want to, and neither do the misfit toys. They want to sit there and argue all day long how it's impossible and it can't be a globe. Aren't you listening when you go there?
I'm not paying attention to them. Again, if you want to call that a failure on my part, you're more than welcome to. No, I'm not being influenced by them, by the contrasting standard. Okay, this person isn't putting out good information. They're not helping me in my journey. They're not going to grow me as an educator in the regards to the nature of Earth. Therefore, what value do I place on that person? Well, a limited value. However, on a separate road with a separate tangent, they have gained influence. So, you could say, well, we want to leverage that influence. Very selfish motivations, but that's how people operate, isn't it? Well, what's in it for Dave Weiss? Absolutely nothing. So therefore, you've got to create a scenario where there is something in it for Dave Weiss. If you want to influence him. That's how it works. That's the game we play. Now, if you don't want to partake in the game, don't moan about the game either. Neil. Mush, who's not moaning. He just wants us to address an issue within Flat Earth, which is a different affair. We can address.
Hold on a second. Neil's not moaning. Neil's trying to get you to understand that they don't want to have anything to do with anything associated with Flat Earth debate, even our arguments.
Yeah.
Even
so what?
what's reality, not even an argument. Celestial navigation. It's something that's been done for thousands of years. But because we talk about it, they won't. Wake up, man.
Okay, that's their bad, not ours.
That's
What
good,
you
though.
want? The more effective we are in our debate, the more likely they are to take it on. That's it, Neil. If you're cuddled up close with them, there's a good chance you can, from the inside, influence them in terms of how good a debate it is. Like I tried to do with Dave Weiss and Science, and failed. Why? Well, because in that instance, it went against a core that he promotes, a core value within his reasoning for having legitimacy. Science. He doesn't, therefore, doesn't want to hear it. Okay, there's not a great deal I can do about that, aside from try and influence him for the greater good and all the other things that I've just discussed. Now, you're saying I'm naive. I don't think so. I think I give these things a lot of consideration, actually, Neil. My social circles and networking and all that stupid garbage that I learned within sales. The methodology that you're employing isn't just to get their friendship, it's to get their money when it comes to sales. You want them to buy your product. Now, my boss could turn around to me and say, I've contacted this dealer, you've been going to them for 6 months, they haven't bought a single thing. They don't want anything to do with us. They don't promote our products. They not know about the field programmable gate array we use in our digital to analog converters. Do they not know? Yeah, they do, yeah. Why haven't they bought anything? I haven't influenced them. They don't like me. What do you want? If I'm honest, that's be the answer. What I'd actually do is provide a load of statistics and say what I was working on and what my position was within the company and how I'd tried to make inroads and what I'd showed them thus far and how they'd reacted to it and why they hadn't bitten on the close. Those are the things that you can make notes of. Well, I can do the same for Dave. It's, if you want to look at it from those perspectives, what's the sale? Is it him getting a transaction that involves money? No, it is not. It's a mental transaction, an education transaction. We want him to be disciplined in a certain field that he doesn't want to be disciplined in. There is no financial incentive whatsoever, and as much as I hate to say it, Dave is financially motivated primarily. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it does mean that if one piece of information contradicts something else that's making him money, he's going to be less inclined to relinquish the former, isn't he? So, you know, you say I'm naive, Neil. I give these things a lot of consideration.
All right, maybe naive is the wrong word, but let me ask you this question. He uses science because he knows it's got a lot of power to it. And if you mention science, more people will buy the app, right? Isn't there a way that he can understand that you don't have to declare it as science and still be able to sell your app? That's what I'm thinking in my mind.
You just
If that's what it is, if it's all about money.
And if that was the case, let's say there was a 100% success rate with that tact. How are you going to communicate that to him? You, not me.
I'm thinking now. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be a way to explain to him that there's no need to declare science here. It's just natural law.
Yeah, I got the tact. I got the premise. Neil, you don't need to repeat the premise. I got that bit. Yeah. Now there's a next step. Next step, communication. How do you get that into his brain? You tell me.
Okay. Listen, you stupid son of a...
Hold on. Is he sat here? Who are you talking to? Are you nuts? Just naive. He's not here listening to you, is he, Neil?
No, he's not.
Yeah, you need to get that step sorted out first, don't you? What if he hates you? Do you think he'll have his ear for 10 minutes to tell him he's stupid if he hates you? You don't seem to be answering these very realistic and far from naive questions I've asked myself. And you obviously haven't.
He's listening.
Oh, right. So what's this hope? Hope you have that he'll hear your cries? Who's naive, did you say? Me? I'm naive. Come again?
Okay, so how does Witsit know? How does he know and Jiren know that they were told to stop talking about certain things? That was brought up the other day in ball buses. How do they know that?
I don't know. I don't care either. I don't care. My tact on my show is if you're talking about unproven garbage like ether, I'll be the first to tell you that you shouldn't do that. It'll make you look stupid. If you have an objection with that, prove your baseless assertion and we'll move on. I'll be red-faced and embarrassed that you've managed to do it in the face of me telling you how stupid it is because you haven't got proof. Well, you overcome that with proof, don't you?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just shocked at the gas price right now.
Good morning, folks.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, good afternoon.
Very good. We've got a couple of clips to cover, which is a bit disappointing. So I've known the gentleman that we're going to be covering for probably the best part of about 8 years, maybe a bit less. And over that time, I've built what I consider to be a really decent relationship with the person, only for it to fall apart based on a disagreement of a use of a magic trick we were all deceived into believing we were on a globe with. That is to say, the whole body of science proves we're on a sphere. They cried in 2015 through 2018, right up until QE got a bit of leverage and started to actually educate people in that which they were educated anyway in the 5th grade, that science proves things. And for that very reason, and that understanding that we all took on in 5th grade, or whatever the equivalent in your country, was to say that once appreciating that science proves things, hearing that word after you've left school and forgotten all about the lessons, conjures the image that something that is suggested to have science attached is proven. And unfortunately for us, there is a side of Flat Earth that utilises this magic trick. That is to say, they will punt and promote the idea that they have scientific validity with the word of science, with the word of experiment, when they don't have it. The same exact trick was used to convince us we're on a sphere through the hijacking of an empirical method known as the scientific method that does prove things, by ascribing it to things that have not been through the method, ergo pseudoscience. So pseudoscience claims from flat earthers is the reason that we have unfortunately parted ways with many of our compadres over the years, fighting the good fight and convincing the general public. Now, as it transpires, those people are far better at marketing within YouTube than I am, have grown much bigger than I. Nevertheless, we remain on the cutting edge of non-bullshittery, proven facts, measurements, and scientific evidence. We are at the cutting edge of the standards when it comes to proving the Earth is demonstrably flat, and we will continue to do so. In this instance, we're not here to necessarily bitch about the personal relationships and interpersonal fallings apart between these groups, but moreover discuss the actual words being said on a wider reaching audience than our own in a discussion that has been had between, perhaps you'd like to introduce this Dave Weiss video, Mush, as it's you that suggested it.
Yes, sir. Sorry. It's a whole interview. It's an hour-long interview, but those are just 2 short clips.
Yeah, I need you to give more data to the audience about who it is, what it is, where it is.
I recommend everybody watch the interview. The interview was with Peggy Hall. She, also known as the Healthy American. She was instrumental in helping people throughout the whole corona hoax, whatever you want to call it, with the masks and everything. She's a biblical perspective flat earther. Her husband is a pastor. And don't say a single bad word about Peggy Hall, dude. Anyone. Just want to say that.
I can't promise that. Although it's only 10 seconds, so it's unlikely we'll emerge from her. But if we were doing the video, I wouldn't promise that, I'm afraid. Sorry.
All right.
Don't be resigned to I like her. It's like, she spews up some feast and nonsense mush. She's going to get an earful, let's be honest.
I see what you're saying, bro. But like, again, she doesn't dive too deep into the FE topic, right? But she's been a flat earther that I've known for years. She always mentions, when she mentions Earth, she says, "Oh, what in the non-spinning world is going on?" So she, like I said again, she won't talk about Earth measuring flat or any of the science versus pseudoscience things. She's a biblical perspective only. And in this interview, she's talking to Dave Weiss, who also in 1 hour pretty much doesn't mention any facts about flat Earth. It was just nonsense about why would they lie, how it can't be a globe, NASA, stuff like that. And he also brings up the toroidal field, how it could be that, which is nonsense. And Dave Weiss, you'll see in the clips. He also says that he loves space. It's his favorite thing. And space makes more sense on flat Earth. So that's what we're going to be reviewing today, those 2 clips.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll play the first, discuss it, play the second, and then I'll clip through to the actual video to get the link. And then we'll invite you to go to Peggy Hall's video. Is that I'm saying her name correct?
Yes, everybody subscribe to Peggy Hall, the Healthy American.
Perfect. So we'll give you a link to her shortly, but these are only very short clips, so we'll just get into them now.
is empowering. Maybe it's something like this. We live on this plane inside this toroidal field, and all of the stars are spinning around. It's responsible for the motion of the sun. Is empowering. Maybe it's something like this. We live on this plane inside this toroidal field, and all of the stars are spinning around. It's responsible for the motion of.
Maybe. But given that we're treated as though we're complete idiots, would it not be better to just stick to what we can prove demonstrably in terms of the function of Earth, rather than speculating about toroidal fields with no validity to them? I mean, I can see why you've picked this clip, because it's a pure speculation on his part, starting with the word maybe. You're like, I don't know, that's not what we do here. We wouldn't really want to speculate because it makes us look stupid. But on the other hand, what's wrong with that? Is he not allowed to speculate much? Is it not down to her discernment to figure out whether or not maybe it's a toroidal field?
He can speculate, man, but to speculate about that before mentioning all the facts that you can mention about FE, it's kind of shady to me, man, especially for someone who's been into this topic for all these years. You know what I mean?
Exactly, Mush.
Speculate.
So you stick to the things that you know, and then you can speculate all you want. Once you get it out there, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it because you're banging a drum that I've skinned. So what you're saying is move forward on the front foot, prove Earth is flat first. All of the things I've been saying in 2024. Yeah. I mean, great, because that is exactly the rhetoric I want going forward. I just never knew it would be so effective from you guys who watch and follow the show and take part in the show. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. I just don't think it's going to happen that quickly. But I would echo your sentiment, as it's my sentiment, which is to say, yeah, the first thing you need to do if you're in an interview and you're a flat earther is prove Earth's flat. That's the first priority. Speculation can come later, fine. Right, let's listen to this next clip.
And then all of my favorite movies, Star Trek and Star Wars, and I love space, right? But to me, I think space makes more sense on a flat Earth. But that's the whole thing. Let's go into yours. And then
Okay, so space, as this individual may or may not appreciate in the standard rhetoric, is a sky vacuum, an area of volume that gas isn't filling in line with entropic law. So to suggest that space, what volumes that gases aren't filling, works better on a flat Earth, number one, is pretty absurd, and number two, sort of coddles the notion that the person's going to find it difficult to relinquish space. So he's kind of putting his arm around her and going, space is cool. I like space. And it works on a flat Earth. No, it doesn't. Space is a second law of thermodynamics violation. Gas would be filling it. If there was a space for gas to fill, then gas would fill it. Outer space is fake. You can't have gas pressure that we're all breathing without containment. And space is alluded to be the area above the already gradiated gas pressure that's not in containment. So no, it doesn't work at all. Doesn't matter what model, I say model for him and us, because it's a model that he's going to reify into existence with the sun and moon above it. He's got it in his app. So his model won't work with the second law of thermodynamics violation any more than the globe will. But there we go. I mean, it's not necessarily as big a deal as I thought that was going to be. Shout out to Price of Adam. Level is flat and gas pressure required containment. Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Nathan, after all of these years, how can you turn around and say something like that? It's a total contradiction of what we talk about here. Total opposite of what we talk about here.
Yeah, how is it even possible that he doesn't know that it's a violation of the natural law? How is that possible, man? After all these years, all these interviews, all this FE talk, how does Dave Weiss not know about the law of nature, that space is not possible? Outer space, I'm sorry. The vacuum of outer space. How is that even possible, man?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either.
This is his rhetoric. This is Dave's way of going about things. It isn't the way we'd go about it. Okay, so The Healthy American is the name of the channel. I've just stuck a link in the live stream chat. So if you like to let The Healthy American, it's Peggy, know, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Hopefully she can check out our comments, although we haven't heard her say a single word. Quite literally.
Be nice to Peggy Ho, guys. Don't say a single mean word.
That's
I'll
one way
to
make sure we're not mean to her.
You're tempting me.
Nah, Neil, you should listen to her, man. Like, maybe not this video, but like she's awesome, man. She covers a lot of topics, and you'll like her. She's a biblical flat earther, if I can say it like that.
I'm sure she's lovely.
So she needs more educating.
Let's just clear a few things up. Right. First and foremost, everyone is entitled to their beliefs. Whether they understand their beliefs or not is a different issue, but everybody's entitled to their beliefs. Now, we don't work here on Flat Earth Debate with beliefs. We're not interested in beliefs. It's not what we try and educate people in. And in terms of the subject genre, that's Flat Earth, there are caveats attached to whether or not it's a good idea to express your beliefs in this category. Now, is it a good idea to express your beliefs in this category? Absolutely not. You're already considered stupid the moment you open your mouth if you declare yourself to be a flat earther by stereotype. So you're already up against the wall. So what do you want to do? Push yourself further against it by speculating about something you can never prove? No. Start on the front foot. Get yourself away from that wall by proving things immediately. Demonstrably showing how Earth is flat so that your opponent has nothing to... They can argue with you, but they'll be arguing in the face of facts. Trying to turn your facts into your opinion so they can argue against your opinion about how celestial navigation works when you've given them the demonstrable facts of how it works, how it's used, how it's a process for navigating. Not your claim, but a fact. If you can do that, you're on the front foot because you've already proven your point. Then whether or not they stereotype you as idiotic is irrelevant. Now, if you then choose to speculate, everyone's entitled to their beliefs. Everyone's entitled to speculate. Obviously, I'm not a dictator. I can't stop anybody doing anything. But I can strongly suggest, given my experience in this subject, that it's not a good idea to move forward out of the gate with speculation. Far better to disprove the stereotype that people are assuming by giving them a few facts to back your point and position. Go ahead.
I was about to say, the thing I found most objectionable was to put flat Earth in a what-if statement. Because it's a what-is statement, not a what-if. The moment you put it in a what-if, you've invited controversy and debate. You've invited it at that point. And it's not debatable. It just is.
So what you're saying is when Dave says maybe it's a toroidal flat plane, he's paraphrased in his belief about what it could be with toroidation of the etherized sensation and interjected something that's just fact with his speculation. Maybe it's a toroidal field. Yeah, that's the maybe. But flat bit is provable and measurable and usable and turned into a globe eventually, the measurements. So, no, it's not part of your maybe statement.
It shouldn't be included in the what-if statement. That was my biggest problem with it, because it's not a what-if.
Fair enough. So in the pre-show, we were discussing, obviously, these clips that we've just played, and the general notion was that, Dave should be doing something different. It's like, well, in order for you to influence Dave into doing something different, you've got to make friends with Dave and influence him into doing something different and give him a motivation to do so. Now, my attempts to do so have failed. So everybody in the pre-show is moaning about Dave, and I'm like, well, who's got the onus here if you've got a rhetoric that you want to push forward in terms of how we prove Earth flat? That is a rhetorical device, by the way. I'm not suggesting to demean it when I say rhetoric. What I'm pushing for is a rhetoric of proof. Well, I can only show people how that's effective by demonstration, suggest that they take in the information by education, but if I'm going to suggest to someone else, I've got to be in their social circle, I've got to have some means of communication with them, I've got to have their trust. Now, Dave's not watching this show and taking on tips. If he was, he'd be utilising the tips, wouldn't he, Neil? Now you say, well, he's watching when we put his name in the title. Maybe he'll glance at the bits that involve him and then tune out for the rest of the show. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to take on what we know is a outstanding argument, but it's never been the case throughout the entire history of this debate show. The arguments that are the best are the ones that stick around for the longest, and they slowly permeate their way into the community.
Well, I do know
Like
that
Black Swan?
more than likely it would be a hearsay situation with Dave, and that someone would say they're talking about you on Flat Earth, right? On Flat Earth Debate. And then that would be so all the information he would get about us would be secondhand. So I don't think he is listening.
There is a third option that we didn't discuss in the pre-show.
Hold on. They got a designated listener, trust me.
The third option, rather than me taking the onus of blame or putting the onus on Dave, is to suggest that the onus is on everyone to do a better job and be more influential. Or, by everyone, in the scenario that we've actually witnessed, the onus would be on the interviewer by that standard. It's up to her to be of a high level of discernment when it comes to information passed on from anybody, not just Dave Weiss. Therefore, hearing the maybe is the only important bit in the small section that we've critiqued. Now, if her discernment is high enough, and you spoke highly of her mush because you like her, fine.
It is. She's all about that.
Go on.
No, she's all about that. Her discernment is very high, man.
Right, so there's no reason to not have the onus fall on her door. To a certain extent, she's taking in information, and it is down to the person listening to that information to not just accept it at face value, especially when it comes with clear caveats from Dave. Dave's put his caveats in. Maybe it's a toroidal flat field. We can object. No, it is a flat plane. Toroidal, you could speculate maybe. I have no idea. Prove it. You can't? Well, then why are you babbling about it? Would be our attitude. But that's up to her. She can hear the maybe and then go, oh, well, that means it is a toroidal field. I'll look into that more because that maybe is worth chasing down. Like a lot of the audiences that watch Witsit and Jaren and all the other people who punt ether, they've found the fantasy that they want to chase down, and they've carried on. They've persisted in their chasing it down. Can I stop them chasing their dream? Is that a bonfire we are here to piss on? I just want people to prove it's flat, right? That's it. If they want to speculate about ether, to be perfectly honest, that's up to the audience to discern if it's useful information or not. If they like the fantasy and want to buy into it, then that's no better or worse than buying into Bigfoot or aliens, as far as I am concerned. Aliens from the sky, that is. So, more power to you. But if you've got Flat Earth in your title and tags, then really you should be proving this stuff by now, 10 years into the subject matter. That's really our message. And it's not like we haven't had plenty of proofs. It's not like there isn't plenty of proofs that have existed before we started going through things like Black Swan and celestial navigation, sextants, elevation angle measurements, mapping. All the things that we have been going through are surplus. There's plenty of flat Earth proofs. It's always been pointed out to me when I've been critical and gone, this isn't the silver bullet. But it's still a flat Earth proof. Yeah, it is. I just don't like it. It's just not quite good enough for me. I want it to be a super shiny bullet that has no flaws. Well, we've got a few of them now too. But it doesn't mean to say that in the last 10 years, all of the people who've been in this arena couldn't be and shouldn't have been moving forward on the front foot, declaring with proof that Earth is flat, straight out of the gate. The standard and the evidence that we've now got in 2024 may be higher, and you could critique them and go, well, why aren't you using this? It's the best standard there is. Yeah, what? Just do anything. Just open up with proving Earth is flat. I don't care what you use to do it, as long as it is actually proof. We know it's flat now, right? We've proven it to ourselves. We've shown the measurements, and we've shown how the globe came from those measurements. So we've got the gold standard. Okay. Doesn't mean everyone knows it. But the people who I've maybe falsely stereotyped as flat Earth believers, maybe if push came to shove and you were to actually challenge them, they'd come up with something completely random that was discussed in 2017 that you heard of, knew was good flat Earth proof, but then forgot about. And that's their standard. You'd be like, great. Just open with that. As long as the person listening to you or interviewing you here's your proof first. That's the most important thing, isn't it? In my opinion. I'm asking like it's a question. I know it's the case. Nobody's reacting. It's just assertiveness. If you're constantly being forced onto the back foot by an opponent, then at some point you've got to step forward and bloody the nose. You've just got to do that at some point. Otherwise, you will constantly be pushed back. So for me, there's a subtle change from talking about how the globe fails to talking about how the flat Earth's measured. First. That subtle change could change many, many people, in my humble opinion.
I think it's a fear because if you start demonstrating that Earth is flat, a lot of people feel the argument's over, their channel's going to die, the show's over. No, it's just beginning.
Well, the thing is, the measurements of the flat plane are part of the heliocentric rhetoric too. That is not in contention that you measure Earth flat. That's why it's such a strong statement, because they use those measurements too. I don't know if people realize that or.
Got the sounds of agreement from Discord. Go ahead.
Sorry, it was me, Nathan. Yeah, basically, John, you're right. Yeah, it's just our flat is flat, their flat is curved.
Yeah. Our flat is flat, and there's no alterations or explanations or apologies required. Their flat is flat until it's representative of the surface level that they haven't measured, represented in maths as curved. Then they have to describe flat as not flat, even though it violates the geometry that they've used to make the assertion that flat isn't flat. They needed flat to be flat to make that assertion, as absurd as that sounds. But we just take it as flat, measure it flat, and then deal with it how the mapping works, which is all flat. No apologies needed. No explanations needed. It's a prerequisite. It's a what is question answered by demonstrable measurement. Earth is flat. That's how we deal with it. That's potent. That's got some sting to it, right? When you put it to somebody in the first instance, that's what we should be doing. But we've only been saying it for, what, 3 or 4 months?
The problem with that is instead of us being heard, they'd rather people like Omnivore be heard. Well, let them finish. Let them finish their statement when their statement is a total violation of natural law. But they don't want to hear the truth that we bring.
Okay, well, we need to alter that, don't we? That's something that we can remedy. The way to do it isn't by calling them dicks. Is, you know, right? Yeah, for whatever reason, that Jeremy guy, he's hostile, right? I don't know why, and I frankly don't care. But if I want him to be on my side, I need to care and ascertain why that is. And interpersonal relationships, when you're just trying to get someone to argue the point correctly or in a winning manner, sometimes you have to enter into that garbage. I mean, that very useful and important part of communication and, you know, interpersonal relationship building. That's what we need to do. When we're there, we can't be mislabeling their show. We can't be calling them dicks when they say, well, we've got rules. If they want to lean on their rules to take control to a certain extent or retain the power they have when we're not there, because we are taking that away from them. We're saying, no, we're here and we're in charge for a bit. Well, that's bullshit on our part, and it's going to put a few people's noses out. Well, you've got to then massage those noses back into joint, Neil, rather than just saying, well, you're a bitch.
I'm glad you corrected it. Nobody called them dicks. We called them bitches. But they were acting like that, Nathan. Come on. Listen to the show. I listened to it again last night. They were just so concerned about a word you said, nothing at all about what you were bringing forth. Oh, you said coward. That's a word. Please don't do that. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so read between the lines. They're looking for an excuse to not take on board the information and to attack me as the individual. Yeah, we can pick that out just by watching yesterday's show. So for those of you in the live audience, if you're not already subscribed or a member of this channel, right? If you're not a member and you're not subscribed to the second channel, then you won't be aware that yesterday the Earth Awakenings extended show came out on the second channel. Now, as I say, members will already have watched all of this, but you get to see the full shebango before and after the live show takes place, and the frustration from my perspective, because I did actually watch it along with the premiering audience last night. My frustration when I'm just trying to get a point through 6 times, no moderation whatsoever, and then the moment I call somebody a scumbag liar because they've lied, everything stops. I get told off for a prolonged period. The track is completely, off in the distance. The train's on its side. You're like, oh, what? But fine. If that's what we have to endure, and we have to figure out why we need them on our side so that they can benefit from the information and punt it on to the next man. They're not asking how this benefits us. How does it benefit us? Well, to change the tides of the general populace. Each one of the people in that server represent a huge number of other people with a similar attitude. So if we can change their attitude and then get back onto the actual focus of just getting them to prove Earth's flat first, obviously we've been too ambitious. Just going into the server and saying, we've got a better argument or a better way of positioning this flat Earth stuff. Just prove it's flat first. And they've gone, you call people scumbags. You go, okay, there's obviously a bit of a disconnect here. We need to get to the bottom of that first then, don't we? And once we have, we can then start pushing forward with better arguments that don't make every flat earther stereotypically conform to the idea that people have about them. Instead, people go, what? My globe came from these flat earth measurements. How can that possibly be? Rather than you're an idiot.
The proper way to do it is you let the show go on if you're absorbing the information. And then afterwards, they can get in touch with you and say, Nathan, your arguments are spot on, but you just can't call anybody names. No, they chose right in the middle of it to interfere and say, stop name calling. And it's over moderation over there. So that's what you got to get. You got to deal with that first.
Well, we're talking about the same thing. Something that's an aside from, although it's disappeared now, I'll carry on anyway. Something that's an aside from the actual purpose in being there. Well, now we've been there a couple of times. We've made our motivation absolutely and acutely, abundantly clear to them. We're here because we want you to strengthen your argument by moving forward on the front foot and telling people how Earth is measured, how it's dealt with, and how the globe, if you then enter, after the fact, into a debate about the globe, how the globe measurements came from those on the front foot pointed out to everyone in the first breath, flat Earth measurements. If you can do that, start with that, you'll always be on the front foot and always be on the offensive. They'll be on the back foot defending their globe that came from those measurements, rather than you up against the wall as a stereotypical idiot flat earther the moment you enter into any discussion ever. Now, I want that to stop. The greater good will benefit me in the long run, 20 years from now. But for the time being, you've got to start somewhere. Who's doing that?
I'll give you a perfect example.
Absolutely.
Hold on, Neil. Go ahead, George.
No, I'm just saying they are on the agree-disagree business, I would say, because they don't like the devastating argument that it is to prove or demonstrate how the world is measured flat by navigators. Every single day they will use the sextant, they are measuring a flat Earth. But they're not in that category, though. They're still accepting arguments from ignorance and fallacious arguments and so on. Just keeping the conversation going. That's my view.
What I was going to say was, if you listen to that show, when you were dealing with Omnivore, this guy Jeremy comes in and says, well, some derogatory statement like, what is this, how long you been in a debate? What is this, your first debate? And I was so glad when Adam finally broke it down and got to it and said, no, it's not our first debate. That's why we do not let them rinse and repeat, and we stop them dead in their tracks, because we've been in it for 10 years.
Yeah, but we're not trying to preach them about how wonderful we are. So, again, as much as it's great to get them understanding that their over-moderation or their detraction from the actual point or their focus on their rules isn't important to us, for whatever reason, it is important to them. So you have to respect that. Maybe ask them why it's so important to them. Maybe listen and empathize and agree with the points that you do agree with. Maybe enter into discussion about that. Once that's out of the way, they will be more empathetic to us when we're trying to communicate these outstanding argumentation points to them, rather than being defensive. If they're just listening for the point that I make a perceived insult against a scumbag liar for being a scumbag liar, then they're not listening to the point, are they? Therefore, first 2, 3, 4 attempts have been ineffective. And I said in the pre-show, sometimes it will take 10 attempts to actually get the message through to somebody to the point where they can convey it to another person. Shout out to Shatner's Bassoon. I'm back, listening to the best show on YouTube, Heart. Illuminati sign. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, but Brian always says it. They're listening to ballers. How do you think these channels that they got were developed? They listen to ballers, say, Nathan don't let us talk. He calls us names. He's mean. He doesn't let us get our arguments out. So now they put a little thing together, and they're going to do everything the ballers is saying we don't let them do. It's very simple. They're listening to ballers instead of listening to the arguments.
You assume. Have you got any evidence whatsoever or beyond this baseless assertion?
I know for a fact.
That's still a baseless assertion.
Yeah, it's been mentioned before. I'm going to emphasize it again. It's interesting that flat earthers need to teach flat earthers how the earth is measured flat.
That's the situation, though. That is the situation, and we're taking it upon ourselves to do so. Some would call us arrogant.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, whoever that is. Who is that? Anyway, we're taking it upon
Watcher.
To Watcher. Hello. As I say, we're taking this upon ourselves, and some would consider us arrogant for doing so. We're going out on our front foot telling them that they're not doing it correctly by perception. I'm not saying we are doing that, but that's how it could be perceived. Well, people won't like that. No, I know what I'm doing. I've been here 10 years too. Well, my way's better. Well, says you. And suddenly you're into a defensive position with a flat earther that you're only trying to educate. You're only trying to assist. But they don't see it that way. Fine. That's obstacles that we have to reach and breach when we come across them. That's just how the world works. That's just what you got to do.
Oh, my mic is better. Mic check.
Hold on, everyone on G+. Go ahead, Watcher.
Hey, how's it going this morning?
Very well.
I noticed you do a lot of different shows in different places. Would you be willing to go to other places and do shows?
Depends on the show. Depends what's in it for me.
All right, I'll send you a DM.
What's the show? What's in it for me?
This voice sounds familiar.
I don't want to mention the name of the show on here. That's not cool.
This voice
Sounds
sounds
like
familiar.
Robnoxious to me.
Am I getting paid?
You have to ask him.
What do you mean? Why would I approach somebody you've recommended to ask them if they're going to give me money? What are you talking about?
So I'm trying to get some fun stuff to go on so we can all get together and, do our thing.
But
Can you please tell us who you are first?
You're trying to organize my diary for me.
No, I'm just asking you. I'm asking you a favor. Could you stop by and give us some help?
Wait, do you own the place this venue? Is it your channel?
No, I don't.
Why are you offering?
I'm the promoter. I try to promote different servers that have different interactions
you are
with
a
each other.
contracted promoter for the YouTube channel that you're suggesting. Therefore, you have a say in it.
No, only no. He doesn't even know.
So no. So this is a glurf liar. Just a lying glurf who's come here to bullshit about some authority he has over somebody else's channel he's got no connection with and is not a manager for. You're not a promoter. You're not a promoter for anybody. If somebody wants to get in touch with me and offer me something, they can. And they will. They don't need some lying glurf to do it on their behalf, probably without their say-so or no.
Yeah, it just seems like sometimes people need to be helped a little bit, you know? So I'm just trying to put some shit together. I see that you go on Politics Server and Earth Awakenings and all the other ones. I was just seeing maybe you could stop by this one and say hi.
Yeah, and you were there too, right? I remember your voice. So tell us who you are.
Yeah,
I'm everywhere.
Robnoxious. We know who it is.
Oh, so you're becoming a flat earther, huh, Robnoxious? That's what you said in the text chat.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. The last time I talked to Nathan, what he said made a lot of sense. You know?
So you know the Earth is measured flat. You know that, right? You want to tell us about it?
That's what I was looking at. And all I'm gonna say is the rock may have been moved.
I couldn't give a crap about your position on this subject as an individual. Let's make that absolutely and abundantly clear. Suddenly, because you've become a convert to flat Earth, does not change what you are, who you are, your general demeanour or attitude, or whether I give a toss about where you think I should be at any given time. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Right, so don't try and organise my diary on behalf of other YouTubers. Build up your own bloody YouTube channel. Invite me on your channel.
Would you come on my channel if I invited you?
Have you got a channel? Or is this some hypothetical bullshit that I need to consider that isn't real? No, I don't involve myself in La La Land fantasies about YouTubers that haven't made it yet. That'd be you.
Yeah, we all start somewhere, man.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for hostility, Nathan. Like I said, usually I try to argue with you, but like I said,
came to organise my diary.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you a simple question, man to man. And I'm not trying to organise nothing.
You've got nothing to. Do you not understand, Rob? You've got nothing to offer. You have nothing to offer me. Nothing.
I understand. I know.
Right. So what you're doing is taking someone else's valour and work and effort and suggesting that you have that to offer me. No, you don't.
No.
Yeah. You said you were a promoter. Yeah, just lied, made up some crap about a position you don't hold on behalf of someone else who's put the work in to build up a reputation or a server or wherever it is you're stealing from.
Oh, no. It's a part of a community that I'm a part of, and it's kind of like a surprise, you know. They don't really know that I try to get other people to come over here and have a conversation with them.
So you have say then? So you're a moderator in this place?
No, but I'm not a moderator. Like I said...
So you have no say whatsoever in this community you're a part of. You're like a viewer above their station thinking that because they watch my show, they somehow have the power or influence to tell me what to do or where to be.
No, I'm not trying to do that, Nathan. Like I said, I'm kind of an enigma. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm just an enigma, man. Like there's no ulterior motive behind this. It's just a simple. I'm just simply asking you, Nathan Oakley, as one of the the main guys, have some fun. You know, I see that you have fun other places.
I've just explained this twice. Why are you rinsing and repeating? Do you not understand? You don't have that to offer. What part of that don't you understand?
No, I agree. I'm asking you.
You're asking and suggesting that I do something with someone else that isn't you. Yeah, don't ask. This is irrelevant. You don't have the authority to ask about someone else's fun I'll be having with them. No, don't do that.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I'm just, like I said, that's why I tried that. That's why
I got that. I got all that. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. You had nothing to offer. Literally, this was a pointless conversation. I got nothing out of it. Zero. Because you had nothing to offer me.
Come meet us in the back, and there's like 40 people waiting there for you. But it doesn't matter. We would dismantle them anyway. Nice try, Rob.
100 people watching, though. Woohoo! Please share the show if you've not done so already. Good to have you all. I'm sure you've only arrived because a lot of people are regulars and share the show. So thank you if you have done.
Well, I would like to join the Nathan Oakley and QE Army. Whatever I can do to help, I would like to do.
Give me money.
I think you guys are dead on.
You can help by giving me money. I'm really poor.
How much money is the normal thing?
Send super chats. Say, I joined the Nathan Oakley and QE Army with a $5 super chat, and everyone will put a thumbs up on it. That's how it works here.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm not able to do this right now. I'm kind of busy right now, but I will get to it, and I'll send you lots of money. And I look forward to being on here.
For your information, I am super fickle. Soon as you give me money, my attitude changes greatly. So fickle.
All right,
Rob.
And
we don't
like
want
I said,
you to join our army. Rob, we don't want you to join our army. We want you to use discernment. You're listening to claims. That's all we want. We don't want you to join an army or join a cult. Or you don't even have to like us.
No, I understand. That's fair enough. See, I just like the guy. I like the idea of the whole debate thing. I like watching the guys talk about having intellectual discussions about this stuff. That's what I enjoy, and that's what I like to do. So I try to bring two different people together. I know Nathan Oakley's never going to talk to Jem on his own, so I'm going to be the bridge in between them.
To who?
No,
Did
no,
you
he
say
isn't.
Jem?
I've already overcome this. He's just delusional.
I love you, Nathan
Please,
Oakley.
Rob. We don't need no help, Rob. You need help.
I know you don't. I'm not insinuating you guys do need help. I'm not trying to say that you guys need anything from me. You don't. You don't need me at all. And I'm nothing to you guys. I understand that. But I'm asking you, I had the balls to get on here. I had the balls to trace you down. I had the balls to bother you guys about this because I am dedicated. I want you guys to see that. Can't you guys appreciate that? At least from my perspective, that hey, this motherfucker is dedicated.
Don't
He might be a thorn in my. I'm
Why
sorry.
are you
Sorry.
swearing then?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I swear a lot. I'm sorry. You have to at least respect the hustle. I mean, come on.
No, I don't get what. I sound cold when I have to disclaim these things, but there's no obligation to any of you. Even the people on G Plus panel have to hear this rhetoric from me. Yeah? No, if you don't turn up, I'm not going to cry. If you do turn up, you're not going to get paid. So, what do you want? I don't know.
I stay for the truth, man.
Your change of heart, if you have genuinely had one, Robnoxious, is your own, right?
You're responsible for it, though.
Okay, that may be. But that doesn't mean I take ownership of your revelation. The fact that you received the information from me and reached a point of discernment because of me doesn't mean that I now take ownership of your new situation and your new paradigm. I am not your guru.
You do bear some responsibility, Nathan.
No, I don't. Responsibility for what? Realising that Earth's measured flat? Where is there any responsibility in that?
You're the one I heard it from, and you're the one that made me go look it up, and you're the one that made me my mind change. So how are you not involved in my life now?
Opening your eyes to the truth, that bears no responsibility. The liars who lied to you have a responsibility and a burden thereafter, not me.
I'm going to end this. Rob, why are you being so disingenuous?
I don't know that he is.
Why are you being so disingenuous?
I don't know that he is. He's defensive because he's dealing with us and we've dealt with him for a prolonged period. That's not going to change
QE,
immediately.
I'm not being disingenuous, QE.
That was Neil.
That's all I can say. I'm not being. Oh, that was Neil. I'm sorry. I'm not being disingenuous, man. I'm telling you guys what's going on.
That's a compliment.
Sorry.
That's a massive insult to QE.
There is a responsibility. There is a responsibility, but it's not Nathan's responsibility. I face the same thing.
He's got to help me, man. Listen.
It was upon me, upon realization of what is, that I shared and stood up for the truth. So now the onus isn't on Nathan, it's on you, not on him. You understand that?
Yeah, let me hear you go to Gem Pandas and defend flat Earth. Or not even defend, prove flat Earth. Tell them Earth is measured flat. Let me hear you on Gems.
Well, when I get off of here, I'll go over there and I will let them have it.
John used a word. He said, what we're trying to impart on people is good discernment, the ability to judge well.
All right, I don't want to take up more time. Can I just ask one favor from whoever owns the Discord here? Can you unban Robnoxious, my main account, so I don't have to come in here with a stupid fucking sock?
If you stop swearing on a live show that's going out that literally affects my revenue, you might not get banned.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, man.
You see? You see what I'm saying? Everybody knows don't swear, but you come right in and drop 2 F-bombs.
Yeah.
I think there's a little hidden motive.
But I don't come here. I haven't been here in a long time. I forgot about that rule on certain live streams. You can't swear. I'm a foul-mouthed person. I apologize, and I will do better. I will not do it at all. How's that?
Apology accepted. No worries. You're not Australian, are you?
No, I'm American. I don't want to take any more time. I just want to ask for can I please be unbanned on the main account, and then I'll be watching on the thing, and I hopefully look forward to hearing some more about the whole thing about measuring the Earth flat. That's all I'm saying. I don't care about any of the other stuff. That's what I'm focusing on.
Well, do you understand the principles of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now I do.
Go on, talk us through it. Which bit of it?
Like you said, the Earth is measured flat in every way you do it. The maps, the positioning systems, everything that you do.
Our argument would start with a specific measurement, though, the elevation angle.
Okay.
So on screen
Yeah,
now,
see, that's what.
for the audience's benefit, I appreciate you're already converted, Rob. For the audience's benefit, what you've got here is what we discussed yesterday, where you're trying to find your position. This was the discussion between Johnny and myself and a few others. And he's saying, well, all you need to describe is the circle of equal altitude. One of these circles that you can see, I know one of them's obscured for the third star, S3, but you can see the two front ones. These are circles, i.e. two-dimensional, flat planes that intersect at a certain point to find your position. And the way you do that, this is celestial navigation, by the way, not a claim I'm making, this is just me detailing the process, is to acquire a horizontal plane of reference to measure the baseline as flat and the angle to the star. So we're going to use S1. So this is the angle measurement. Now, the reason we say that the Earth must be flat to take this measurement is because below the star that you're measuring, S1, is its ground position. And when you measure an elevation angle, your angle measurement will meet the ground position at 90 degrees. That's why there's a little box here. Ergo, it's a prerequisite. You must have a flat Earth to make this measurement. To put a flat circle on the ground for positioning. It can only work this way. And this method of measuring a star in this manner along a flat baseline, the ground position, is the methodology used to measure Polaris to give us our latitude system. Each angle to Polaris as you back away from it, so if you moved back away from Polaris and took the same angle, it would be smaller until it reached the horizon. That is the latitude grid, but each measurement forms this, a circle of equal altitude. A two-dimensional circle that gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you move away from Polaris on a flat Earth. Now that system is what developed the globe. The flat angle measurements to Polaris. That's an elevation angle measurement. Utilizing and requiring a plane of reference, meaning that when you're dealing with ground positions and navigating the ground, you reference, that is, measure the ground as flat. Earth is, ergo, demonstrably being measured flat when you measure an elevation angle. That's it. I'm done.
Well spoken.
And that's why I'm a flat earther now, man.
Just be prepared to be ridiculed by absolutely everybody you speak to. Like you did.
Oh, so you mean pretty much nothing's gonna change?
Imagine how you treated us since you interacted with us, being how people will now interact with you, and you've got a pretty good idea of how people will treat you now that you understand and appreciate Earth is measured flat. Yes.
They never like me anyways. Neither side likes me, dude.
I think that's a personal thing as opposed to a belief thing. That's fine.
Well, absolutely. The name's Robnoxious
well.
for a reason.
Then you've already got thick skin. Maybe you don't worry about it. I would suggest, like I would to anybody, as we've used Dave Weiss as the example, now you become that example. If you're going to bring up the subject, number one, understand the arguments. Number two, move forward by declaring a fact about how Earth is actually measured first. That's it. Then you'll be in good standing for every discussion you ever have on this subject as a flat earther.
Yeah, I don't dislike Dave, but I don't really, espouse to his teachings. I'm more of a Bro Sanchezian. I like Bro Sanchez. I think he's awesome. I think he's got the idea nailed down.
That's nice. I think he's nuts.
He wanted me on his show, and we never managed to peg down a time. So we were in back and forth communication. But he's always broadcasting at some god awful time in the morning for me, so I could just never seem to get on his show.
I go on his panels all the time, but I used to argue with him about the other argument. But now when you go on there this time, he's going to shit his pants or he's going to poop his pants.
Yeah, let me know if I can get a timestamp of you going through to Bro Sanchez and saying, "I've been on Nathan Oakley's show. I understand Earth's measured flat now. Call me a flat earther if you like." I'd love to get that as a clip.
I want to hear that.
I would love that.
Oh yeah, he's gonna like that. He's gonna like that.
If you're not being disingenuous,
unless
you're being disingenuous, and this is just some big gotcha. I don't know you well enough.
Yeah, I was going to ask Rob. Rob, I want you to be totally honest with me. Hold on, Rob. I want you to be totally honest with me. Are you serious, or are you just playing with us? Because I don't like games.
I'm serious, man. I'm dead serious. Listen. If you guys know me about, I know Nathan doesn't, but I know you do a little bit. You and a couple other guys.
No, a bunch of guys. I heard a smile when you said that.
Said what? No, I'm telling you, like I never believed in the moon landing already. I'm saying, like, I already have questions about other things. Like I've always been, you know what I'm saying? I just never agree with the shape of the planet. But like I said, there's certain things that just can't be answered. Being level flat, water curving. There's certain things that just make no sense.
Okay, fine.
Upside down people.
Fine. Instead of saying, "Oh, well, I'm now a convert. I want to be the QE in Atheist Army," or whatever you said. Yeah, just give me money. That'll be just as good.
Sounds good. I'll try to send money to you as soon as possible, man. At least once a week.
I was actually going to say, although I added that last second, was just say thanks and get on with your day. If you don't want to debate it, if you just wanted to know what the nature of Earth was, now you do. So you've got a couple of options. Be an evangelist for the subject. Did you want to ever be an evangelist for Ball Earth? It sounds like you were just trying to figure things out. Because if you didn't, why would you now want to be a flat Earth evangelist? Yeah, let the people you've pissed off like Sanchez and me know that you've changed your mind. Good for you. Yeah, it's no big deal to me, no offence, I just don't know you or care. That sounds harsh, I'm sorry, I'm just realistic. But after the fact, right, when you've told Bro Sanchez and hopefully let me know and I've got a clip, and I'll be grateful for that, if nothing else, just get on with your life. In other words, unless you want to be an evangelist, you now know it's flat, right? That's it. Job's a good one.
There you go. Now it's up to me what I want to do with it. Like you said, I hear you, man.
On the other hand, if you did want to be a flat Earth evangelist,
pretty rational.
Listen to all the arguments. Hold on, just one last point. There was two roads. The other road is be a flat Earth evangelist and learn the arguments really well. But when you enter into discussion, don't enter into discussion telling people how the Earth isn't a sphere. Tell them how it's measured flat first, so that they know you're serious, so they know you're not a numpty that they can stereotype. If you want to be an evangelist,
I do a lot of at home demonstrations and so-called experiments. So like, I definitely do a lot of things that I don't really see a lot of people doing. I actually do hands-on stuff. Saying I live by lakes and stuff. I can do all this measurement. All these observations myself. So
what's to observe?
It's just funny. It's hilarious. Like, it's so much easier to talk to you, and you're not as upset and stuff when I'm not coming at you with the opposing stuff. This is a lot easier, a lot better.
Yeah, right.
This is a lot
All
better.
you did was suggest I went somewhere else, and I still jumped down your throat. What are you talking about?
Well, that was in the beginning. I understand that.
Same show.
Robnoxious, can you give me just a quick synopsis, bro? Like just 2 minutes. Like, let's say I'm a glober, and you want to tell me why the Earth is flat. What are you gonna tell me?
Water don't curve around a globe, and I don't think people are upside down. I know those are old ones, but that just, to me, those are the ones that can't be defeated. It's just it's
so
totally
you wouldn't be able to explain why it's measured flat and how it's done.
You failed.
Oh yeah, I don't claim to be some scientist and math guy.
That's not science, bro. Has nothing to do with science.
Yeah, well, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not going to try to.
But that's not mathematics either.
See, my plea is to reason. You know what I'm saying? My style is pleading to reasoning and people's common sense.
Hold on, Mush. Hold on. Right, just because. Right, when he was here putting globe arguments to us, he had a very low standard. Do you think he's suddenly going to have some super high standard because he's changed his mind about the nature of Earth based on evidence?
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan.
Good point.
Yeah, I didn't become Einstein overnight because I became a flat earther, guys. Sorry,
Okay, well, just to take apart what you did say, you were like immediately referencing back how Earth's not a sphere, and I'm suggesting that's the worst way to go about it. It's not your claim anymore. So telling people how it isn't your claim is like telling people you're not a smoker anymore. Just don't smoke, and people will know you're not a smoker, rather than going around saying, I don't smoke anymore. No need. No need to tell people it's not a globe either. They're entitled to their beliefs. If someone challenges you
analogy.
on the subject and you know your stuff, you can undo their arguments. But as I said earlier, if you're going to evangelize about Earth being flat, then do just that. Tell them it's measured flat first. Not out, I know it's not a sphere because people aren't antipodal. Why would you assume in your argument as a flat earther that there's anything to discuss about antipodal positioning? There isn't. You've got that globe blood coursing through you still.
Rob, do you understand where the concept of antipodal comes from?
Yeah, the celestial sphere with an antipodal flat earth sandwiched underneath the northern territories with a polar-centric measurement out to the equator.
Right, 90 degrees to the surface below the pole star. It's still a description of a flat plane. You're just rotating that flat plane 180 degrees to give you that celestial sphere.
Right, you've effectively got two domes. A dome that's south-centric without really having a true position to give you the dome, and you've got a northern dome, which does have a true northern position that doesn't move, Polaris, that you get the latitude from. With those two, if you sandwich the two maps antipodal from one another, you've effectively got two flat plane measuring systems that are, in the model at least, rotatable so that the flat plane can be inverted and then southern rather than northern. Obviously, that doesn't mean that people are antipodal hanging off the bottom of the flat plane, but that is how it's mapped in the celestial sphere. It's just two separate polar-centric positioning systems sandwiched on top of each other antipodally to give you what we fondly describe as the celestial sphere wrapped around both.
Yeah, the example I've seen on recently on the cartoon regarding the flat Earth is instead of the globe on the desk, it's like a coin, and you flip the coin for the north, you flip the coin again for the southern. A flat Earth example.
Okay.
I'm going to put you in the title,
you know
Rob. What do you want to be called in the title? Robnoxious becomes a flat earther?
Nope. It is Flat Earth Robnoxious. As soon as I get on my other account, I'm going to change my name to Flat Earth Robnoxious. And everybody knows that the blue mask now means it's over for the globe. So when you see that blue mask now, I ain't coming for the flat earthers anymore. I'm coming for the globers.
How are you spelling Robnoxious? Robnox what?
IOUS.
Thought so, I just wanted to check. Robnoxious converts to FE. Exclamation mark,
Let's do this.
exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Right, I've changed the title, Robnoxious. So if you're bullshitting us, you've made my title a lie.
I go to Gem Server every day. I'm there all day long, and I'm about to go over there right now and blow their minds.
Wow. Well, what a turn of events.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your time, Nathan. Sorry.
No need to apologise. It's been an absolute pleasure. But with that, I'm going to say if you're watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Okay, but you're saying that troubled you.
I'm saying what?
You're saying that upside down people and water curve, and that's what bothered you to the point where you investigated. So maybe
Why do you think I always ask the question? You really think that other people are existing thousands of miles beneath your feet, antipodal to you? Like, you really think that's a thing? And people just look at me like, but like, it's so big and you don't see it that way. But I'm like, just look at the ball. That's what they're telling you. That's how people exist. People are, in quotes, upside down from each other. That's ridiculous.
And
How am I
going north
supposed to accept that?
upwards, and going north upwards and south down. North and south, hard horizontal, not up and down.
Yeah. So I'm going to go on Gem Pandas to see if he's over there talking his stuff.
I mean...
Or he's just looking for attention.
either way, you take people at face value. If they're lying to you, fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he's able to recite the statement that Earth's measured flat, that's really all that we need him to do.
Yeah, but what's the first thing you do, though? If somebody has changed their position, I would contact them and say, yo, I really understand the argument. The other day when you broke it down, and you go into these things. So it's the way he came in that makes me think that, nah, he's full of shit.
Yeah, so apparently he's done this before, guys. He's done this about a year ago. He also claimed he was a flat earther. And his Robnoxious account has been banned for a few months, so he's been trying to get back into the server for a while now. So I guess this is just a game he's playing, because a moderator just told me he's done this a year ago. Same thing. He claimed he was a flat earther, and it's all an act.
Yeah, he's a staunch baller.
Wouldn't be
End
the
of
first
story.
time.
Many a true word.
Okay, that's not the worst thing ever happened.
Yeah, who cares? I care even less if he hasn't converted than, you know what I mean? That I told him that I didn't care if he had.
Yeah, I just don't like them thinking they got one over on us. We're not stupid. All right?
Who cares? Oh, look, we said we'd
Yeah,
converted and we were liars and they fell for us lying to their faces. Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, look what happened with what's his name? The Christian guy with Logan Paul. Look like a freaking moron after that. No matter how many times Mark Sargent warned him about this guy, he's a prankster. He violated a gravesite or something in Japan, and you're gonna line up with this guy and put him on because he claims he's a flat earther? He's freaking punking you, and that's exactly what happened. So Robnoxious, we don't buy a word of it. You ain't punking us.
It's fine by me. It gives me an opportunity without interruption from him because he's trying to seek subservience through a lie, if it is one. I get to go through the arguments with him as though he is a new flat earther and him going, yeah, right, yeah, I see, I understand. Right? That's useful to the audience. The fact that after the fact he turns around and proves himself to be a disingenuous liar. Well, did we not know that already, number one? Number two, did it change the examples that were useful to the audience? No. They're very useful.
Yeah, I get that. I seen what you were doing. I know.
right. And don't worry about them, pretty much. It doesn't really matter if they accept it or not. It doesn't change what it is. You know?
Well, I agree. I just don't want them thinking they got one over on us. Ain't no suckers. Sucker.
But I mean, what I'm saying, though, it's irrelevant if they believe that or not. You know? It doesn't change anything.
Exactly. The world is what it is. People converting might give you a warm, fuzzy feeling for a couple of minutes, but it probably has very little effect on flat earthers. For globers, it's their world, man. If you can get a flatty to convert back to globe, they have a party. Like, you got, what, 20
Which is
billion
funny
people that
because
believe
they
this
already
crap.
got all the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's funny when one goes back, oh, this one person went back to the globe. How many other guys you got on the globe? Like, so it's that serious, huh? If one
Yeah.
person
They never go back to the globe.
Conformity. That
They
we
never
are
go-
that is the thorn in their side. The fact that we don't conform with their consensus belief in this stuff makes them feel awful. So yeah, it's worthy of a party when, yeah, you're back on the consensus side that we were very concerned about relinquishing because you weren't part of it. One of us.
Right, but when a flat earther converts, they never convert back to a globe. They go to anti-flat Earth. There's
Yeah, that's
never
true.
going to be a glober again. Those days are gone.
Yeah, that's very true. You can't go back to being a glober once you've fallen down the hill. There's no way back up it. You might try, but you're on the path to flat earthism or anti-flat earthism. That's your choices. There isn't a globe choice. You can't scramble back up the hill. You can't unsee what you've seen.
And you can't go back to being a normie. Because the going back to being a normie stops once you start having to defend the globe. Because being a normie only works when you just believe all this stuff. Once you start defending it, it becomes a problem. Then you're forced to become an anti-flat earther. That's why the anti-flat earthers exist, because they had to deny some of their very own globe claims just to defend the globe claims that they're denying. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Right. And just Rachie as an example, just to use her. She's not a glober. She can't ever be a glober again because she knows something. Whether she accepts it as true or not is irrelevant. She knows something, and that's going to stop her from being a globe. She can talk about how it's not flat all day, I bet, but that is going to stop her from being a glober.
Hey Nathan, if you want to check out this clip I just put on a Skype, I saw the movie this past Sunday night with my wife. It was like a romantic movie, and this lady falls in love with this guy who at the end explains to her how the sextant works. So I took a short little vid.
Tilt the sextant until the image of the sun kisses the horizon.
Right. Mind that.
That angle is called your sight. We would normally take a note of that somewhere. And using various mathematical equations and accounting for the air, the height of the cliff. Mathematical equations and accounting for the air, the height of the cliff. We can estimate our latitude.
That's all.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Why is
Well, I
that
won't
blue
tell anyone
part
how
curved,
painfully
though?
easy nautical navigation is. Might tarnish the Navy's reputation.
On behalf of the Crown, we thank you for your discretion. Tilt for sextant.
What did she just say?
I don't know what happened. That was cutting off a little bit.
No, it was fine.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine.
It was kind of cutting off. It wasn't flowing.
It's because you've
on
recorded
my
it with
end.
your mic and it's just gone through my desk and then through a load of compressors and
Oh,
then
okay.
out through Discord.
Okay.
It sounded all right. It was just clear that you'd recorded it with your phone. It was at a weird angle.
Yep.
That's fine. We got the general gist and I had subtitles and I had it on screen. Yeah, she's basically pointing out how incredibly simple it is to do celestial navigation. Measure an angle to this star. Yeah, that's it. For a flatty, there's nothing to this, is there? I don't really know what's getting in the way. Maybe it's because of all the Feast of Nonsense complications that are put into the current raft of flat earthers that make them think, no, this is too good to be true, it's too simple. Just measure an angle and the ground line is flat because it's the ground line and it's baseline and it's got ground positions on it and it's flat. I don't know if that's just, is it too simple for people to understand? Is it too good to be true?
Yeah, that's what it is. But that's
Don't
what
mention
it
90.
is. What do you want us to do?
I don't know. Just keep saying it. It's showing out it smashes our opponents.
That's
Just don't mention
literally what she
90.
told him in the clip. It's that simple.
Is that it?
Oh, all right. I won't tell anybody how easy your job is.
Yeah. But really, what else is there to it?
Would it be that easy if they had to navigate a globe?
No.
No.
I'm sure it would be.
Fortunately, we don't, so it is nice and easy because Earth's flat. You can just get angles.
You can never.
Go on, John.
I was about to say you can never establish an angle if your level baseline was curving.
That's correct.
Plus, they're looking at a horizon, and that would be a problem on a sphere-shaped object.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. They were always navigating on a flat plane. They were never navigating a ball because you can't.
No, exactly. You can flick to page 87 and show how the flat Earth measurements can be converted to a ball. That's it.
I'll never
Exactly.
forget 10th Man. I'll never forget 10th Man telling the story about like how everybody was navigating flat, everything was cool, and I'm not sure who it was, but then somebody came up with the globe and then started running around to these very people that were navigating flat. Told them, hey, you know, keep doing what you're doing, but just say you're navigating a ball. Just
Yeah,
keep
that was
navigating
China.
it flat. Yeah, was it? I forgot.
Yeah.
He was killing me with that. Yeah. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just say it's a ball though. Fantastic.
You sent me a load of diagrams last night, actually, 10th Man. You saw one of the videos I released, and he's like, these images are better. I was like, oh, thanks. Just usual stuff, you know. Center of a protractor called the globe.
Yes, and all you people that think 10th Man has left the show for various reasons, that is not the case. He's in contact with all of us. He's in chats. So nothing has happened to 10th Man.
Oh man, shout out to him, man.
He's being an awesome husband, and man, is he teaching me a lot.
Yeah, big shout out to 10th Man.
Here.
I'm glad the Robnoxious revelation didn't last long.
I don't think it went exactly how he planned it.
Sorry, John. I was gonna say what seemed extra genuine to me when he said, "I want to join the Nathan and QE army." we're an army now. Is that what we are?
Yeah, don't you see here the other day? Wait. We're an army of retards.
But that's what we don't want people to be. We don't want them to be
literally the opposite of what the hell we want.
Right. Yeah.
And John, your IQ has dropped, John. Don't you remember?
I don't know. Did I ever tell anybody my IQ?
Doesn't matter. QE said your IQ is dropped and we're all a bunch of retards. The good design. Move forward, guys. Let's go.
He needed to have a proper welcome to the flat earth, the way Chocolate does best. Welcome to flat earth. TG on the back. Go ahead there, Chocolate. How is it?
What? Welcome to Flat Earth. Snacks in the back. Bathrooms to the left. DJ's playing requests. And smoke them if you got them.
That's the one.
Unrumpus. Very good.
On a side note, Nathan, the two live streams in particular last week with the real nuclear physicists and reviewing Danny Faulkner's book, them two were excellent episodes, so rewatchable. All the arguments in, very entertaining. I have a bit of bias because they were the videos that I suggested, but they went down so well. I've listened to them a few times since then. I was thinking the next one we should do would be a longitude and latitude, as that's the most recent subject. I'm trying to find videos. I've only recently been looking, but I'm trying to find videos of the measurements. Found a lot of how they're used. I'm trying to find ones in videos in the last year or 2 years, so they're quite relevant. But if others could help me with that, find me a video where it describes how it's measured. We go through that on the show.
Yeah, any of the
probably most relevant
pre-shows,
topic.
our shows have got all that information when 10th Man went through it with us in the pre-shows. So any pre-show from about a year ago we'll have that in spades.
Only a year ago? Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't know. When 10th was last on the show. Maybe it's 2 years ago, because he went through it with us for about a year before we got to grips with the argument, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I was thinking more like 2 years ago during the pre-shows. He was leaking it out to us daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say 4 years after the Black Swan.
In any event, we had the information passed on to us, stripped out to us in a way that was very useful, because it wasn't full on. It was just a little bit at a time from 10th Man until we understood what he was studying, because he wasn't putting it in presentations. He was like, this is what I've just been researching. Here's the book. Here's what it says. And then he'd read a passage and send it to us.
Well, my point is that if you type in longitude and latitude into the search engine on YouTube and into the filters, put it in with the last year, there are people still making videos on this. That might be worth reviewing for us to go there and commenting.
Right.
Just an idea. Sorry to kill the conversation.
No, it's all good.
Did you guys have a chance to
treatment last night? Sorry.
Yeah, he did.
Did you guys ever get a chance to check out this vid, Why Are Flat Earthers Good at Live Debates, from a channel called Mentis Wave, almost 55,000 subs? I linked it in the Skype maybe last week. I didn't watch it. It's 17, 18 minutes, but it had a lot of comments, a lot of views. Just wondering if anybody checked it out. I can repost it again.
No, I didn't see that.
Copy. You didn't see that? Okay.
Did you watch it? Yeah.
I did not. That's what I'm saying. I didn't watch it. I just put it in Skype. It could be interesting.
To answer his questions, because we're right.
I'm gonna put it in Discord too. There we go.
I say we review it together as an army.
Yeah, that's what it is, Neil. It's the QE and Nathan Oakley army. Answers we weren't even going to mention.
Is this title supposed to be sarcastic, or is it like a genuine title? Oh,
I think
you
it's
don't know.
actually genuine.
You didn't watch it.
Truth. Yeah, I watched a couple of minutes, but I think it's yeah. I think he does believe that flat earthers are winning debates. Yeah, I don't think it's sarcastic.
Okay.
I watched enough to yeah. First couple of minutes, man. Not enough to be able to tell you.
Yeah, I got you.
What's going on? Yeah.
The community is growing.
What community? FED?
Well, I mean, flat earthers, more people investigating and coming to
For sure.
terms that it's flat.
Yeah. The Justin Peters himself, he said like the first video that he made when he took a video of the sun with his iPhone or whatever, he said that 90% of his comment section is flat earthers calling him out. And that in response to that, he made a video he called Danny Faulkner. That was in response to that. 90% of flat earthers in his comments. That's why he brought Danny Faulkner to debunk them all.
Yep. Go get the guy who's got all the answers. But when he was presented a question, he went on YouTube and found Blue Marble Science. Notice I didn't call him his nickname. And showed a video of gas pressure without a container with 4 containers. Because he's got all the answers.
Yeah, the flat earthers just went on Google like he did, according to him, when he projected his failings onto us. Because he's so big-headed and has all the answers that he got from Google, like we do, according to him.
That reminds me of a debate I was having not too long ago where they were talking about sulfur hexafluoride and how, that stays on the ground. And then they show a video, and the first thing they do is bring in the sulfur hexafluoride inside of a container.
In a tank.
And put it
Exactly.
into another container, yeah.
And releasing
So
it into existing gas pressure.
So I didn't even watch the whole video. I just watched the first 2 seconds, saw there was a container, and it said, there's a container. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, they don't show you that on the next day they were sweeping the floor from the gases from the floor.
They left
Little
that
gas
part
balls
out.
on the ground. Yeah, they missed the sweeping of the gas balls on the ground.
Well, listen, you got a lot of people that made videos that said outright, yes, Nathan Oakley, gas does go down, go boom, boom.
Yeah, PhD
Exactly.
Clown Thunderfoot.
Just wait for next day, bring a sweeper, and clean it up.
Come on, you bring a vacuum. Bob Nodell also said it in one of his videos.
And Flat Earth is becoming more popular in pop culture. Like that Fallout show mentions Flat Earth.
Yeah, somebody told us. Somebody comes out of isolation and says if they figured out if Earth is flat yet or not.
Yes, very interesting.
Yeah, and that was all supposed to take place in like the 50s, but I thought they knew Earth is flat thousands of years ago. I mean, the globe. Thousands of years ago. So why in the 50s were they still debating it?
Well, the flat plane is necessary for their rhetoric. They have to keep mentioning it.
A lot of people are going to be losing a lot of work when it hits critical mass.
Not if you're a navigator. If you're a navigator, you need to understand the method. And the method requires the Earth to be flat and stationary.
Haven't heard from Adam today. Where is he?
Evening, guys.
Evening.
Hello. Adam was in here a little bit ago, but he had to leave for some reason.
Anybody in Discord got a magical spinning water ball they want to sell us? Come on, somebody gotta want to tell me how I'm sticking sideways to the side of a spinning water ball flying around in a vacuum. Come on. Nah.
Don't you know the space makes more sense on flat Earth, Chocolate?
You were to do the Dave Weiss clips earlier, Chocolate.
What?
Yeah.
Space, the vacuum makes more sense on a flat Earth.
Yep.
Okay. How does that check out again?
I don't know. You got to ask Dave Weiss that one.
And then all of my favorite movies, Star Trek and Star Wars, and I love space, right? But to me, I think space makes more sense on a flat Earth. But that's the whole thing. Let's go into your thought.
All right.
Pretty telling, right?
Surely he doesn't mean like the vacuum. Like space, maybe like the sky?
Right, what's
Like
space,
the-
Chocolate? If I said, I'm going to go to space, what would that mean?
In heliocentric nonsense, that would be the vacuum.
If you said to any man ever that speaks English, what does it mean?
The vacuum?
Yeah.
All right.
And then they say that the pizza pie in a sky vacuum is just a stereotype. You got Dave Weiss professing it.
Nah, man. I want to believe that he means it in a different way. I can't mean the vacuum
Nah, man.
sense.
Especially when he says
he
all
talks
his
about
favorite
toroidal
movies.
field. Sorry, Mush. It's always seemed to get in the way of you. Go ahead.
It's all right, man. Especially when he says all his favorite movies are about space, like Star Wars and all this. You know, we know what he means. He means outer space. And to say that outer space makes more sense on flat Earth for somebody who's been into this, call it topic for all these years, and for hour-long interview, not to mention second law of thermodynamics, when you're trying to tell somebody about the flat Earth information, man, to me it's shady to say the least. You know,
What do you think
wanna...
ether
Yeah, but
is?
it's all about the ether belief.
Yeah. What do you think ether is? It's a space replacement.
So wait, so he doesn't argue that we're contained?
No, he now seems
Apparently
to
not.
argue that space makes more sense on a flat Earth because
Yeah.
ether is
Yeah.
space, isn't it?
Yeah,
wow.
that's
I think
their
he
space,
thinks that the
ether.
plane of the Earth is endless.
Again.
He thinks the plane of the Earth is endless. Like instead of space being infinite, Earth's ground is infinite. It just keeps going and going, and there's all different kinds of puddles. And
Maybe it does.
one time I heard him argue.
Maybe it does. We just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's interesting, but it's not anything you can tell anybody with any seriousness because you can't prove it. It's just another story to replace the other story.
Oh, wait, so you're saying his space is infinite, like left, right, back, forward, not up?
I've heard him argue that Mars is a sun, just like the sun that we have, but it's so far away over another pond with an ice wall. And if you have a boat and you have
he's
enough
talking about
fuel,
outer
you
space then.
sail there.
I've heard
I
that
mean,
theory.
Yeah, it's silly.
Before. I've heard
I think
that
it's called the
before.
cosmic egg or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
He's not here,
idea of an
Chocolate?
infinite plane.
Go ahead, John. My bad.
The idea. Oh no, you're all right. The idea of an infinite plane is impossible. There is no infinite in physical reality. You're not gonna. Nothing goes on forever.
I'm just saying, it's not the first time I've heard that theory of, and I put theory in quotes, but yeah, like the other planets are suns for other worlds or different parts of this world, things like that. I've heard that before. Not the first time. Interesting, but yeah, no way to prove that. So
I was out a bit late joining, but that sounds like you're describing Martin Kenny's
yep,
Vedic cosmology.
yep, that's where I've heard it before. Yeah.
New name on me. Who's this? What's
no.
that?
Martin Kenny is the guy I interviewed in the, what would it be, 2018, 2017 Flat Earth Conference. The guy that brought the massive model into the conference in Birmingham, based upon, like I said, on Vedic cosmology. So in the centre, you've got that standard map we're familiar with, and then outer concentric circles will have more land masses, but also their own separate sun and moon system. Now, we interpret those sun and moon systems, in the case of the first circle, as Venus and Mars, I think it is. So Mars is their sun, and Venus, which does exhibit phases like our moon, it would be their moon. The reason they're so small is because they're so far away, but they're the same size for the outer circle that they show as a sun and moon for them. That's the claim as what I thought I was listening to.
Right. Very interesting. Any proof that Polaris is another sun? Not Polaris. Did you say Polaris or did you say Venus?
The side of an ice wall.
Did you say Venus?
It said Mars.
Yeah, so Venus and Mars. So Venus and Mars would be one set of sun and moon. I think Jupiter's expressed as one. And Mercury, I think, in that system, and I'll be corrected, is supposed to be our next coming sun for the next age in that Vedic scripture.
Based on what?
Based on ancient Hinduism, or an interpretation of the cosmology that they've drawn. Suppose then mosh together with a hybrid of modern stuff and shake it all up and come out with your own new age theory of what's beyond the ice wall that you've not met yet.
And I'm a new guru.
Exactly.
So these flat Earth conventions are just a hodgepodge of gurus, right?
Yeah, wannabe gurus.
Nah, it's a good place to meet people. Met you there, yeah. If we weren't such a set of outcasts, there probably would be more structured ways of doing it. But I've enjoyed every conference I've ever been to instantly bond with everybody you meet. It's an opportunity to at least meet the people on a similar page.
Adam, if you enjoy going to jail so much, I could introduce you to a few people too. You didn't have to go to the Flat Earth Conference.
You've got to remember, right? Until we've been to the conferences, we've done this, we've had the debate. There's no standard generated yet. We're setting the standard 7-8 years ago that we're going to now try and show to people that we've lived through. You don't go back then and go, oh, I was in jail. No, you was a load of lost people that didn't even know about the scientific method yet, but they knew something was wrong with the way the Earth was being described. Do you know what I mean? And that back then, that's all there was, mate. A couple of open YouTube accounts, but stuff like that was actually a great relief. You weren't mental, you weren't on your own, and this stuff did exist in reality outside of the internet. Now, if you're going to hold them to task for what they do and promote now, different matter. But those standards hadn't been formed 7, 8 years ago.
I don't know. I subscribed to you after that. I said, "Who's this guy? I like him."
Yeah, but we need to proactively increasing our influence to set those standards, Neil. Currently, we aren't influential enough to set a standard. That's basically the problem we have. And that's our problem to solve in terms of the reach that we have and the influence that we have.
And the trouble is, you see, I've said all along, we're peddling shit. Nobody wants to buy what we've got to sell. Yeah, you have to sweeten it, like David Weiss does. He's got buyers, yeah, because he's sweetened his shit. Yeah, because what we're serving is very unpalatable. Yeah, everything you've been taught is a lie. But what's truth? I actually don't know. Yeah, it's not a great sales pitch. Yeah, so even with the slightest bit of wow, here's a bit of imagination, people lap that up still. Yeah, that's not our standards that we've formed over these 7 years. What we've got to do is then chastise someone who speaks like that, and unfortunately say no. Stop grabbing onto the next new thing that's just as unproven. That's not popular. It's not popular to stand there and say to somebody, "You're wrong," but I am also, if I'm being honest with you, ignorant as to what it is. Why do you listen?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We're selling shit.
Yeah, that's the same thing that happened in the scriptures too, because the Apostle Paul says, "Stop getting carried away with every wind of doctrine that comes your way." It's the same thing with flat Earth. Everybody's getting carried here and carried there. Just stick to what could be validated, man.
He's not here. I said this last time, Neil. He's not here. So you need that message to permeate with him. Yeah?
Well, there is something we do know. And that I guess that's unpopular to know it, but it is. And that's the Earth's flat. That's how you measure it.
Unfortunately, that's not enough for a lot of people. It's got to come with that second part, like Adam said. Well, what is it? Besides flat, like what is it? Like how does it work? I mean, how does the entire thing work now that you know it's not a globe? You want me to tell you a cool other story besides the story that you just lost? I can't do that. I won't do that. I won't speculate on what the entire Earth is because I don't know. Oh, well, then I can't accept the first part. What,
That sounded
the factual
crap.
part that I told you?
That sounded rubbish. It
flat?
wasn't appealing. It wasn't sweetened in the slightest. What's that you say? It could be a toroidal flat field. Ooh.
Nah, I don't got that, man. the age of me selling geometric horizons, I don't do that no more on the corner.
But that's what my son says. Sorry, Chocolate. But that's what my son says. You have no answers. So you want me to just leave Earth is flat, and you can't tell me what the sky is? No, I can't.
No. I don't want you to believe Earth is flat. You measure it that way.
How about pay attention to your senses first? How about try that?
No, they want answers. They want us to give us answers for the seasons. They want answers for the stars. They want answers for everything.
But
why don't they go back to the people that gave them these supposed answers in the first place once they realize these answers are wrong?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? We're in the same boat. We all just realize we're being lied to. So okay.
Yeah,
But
go back to that.
Want me to
Go back to the cheating wife and ask her why she cheated, and she'll explain how it's your fault very clearly, and it'll all be lies, and you'll understand how it's your fault at the end. Yeah, you go do that.
No, Nathan, but you could go to the education system and say, why were you teaching me this when you knew it wasn't true? You taught me 2 plus 2 was 4. Thank you very much for the mathematics. But why in science did you teach me pseudoscience?
It isn't.
You
It's
could do
real,
that.
Neil. No, you idiot flat earther. What are you? Stupid. It is true.
No, science is a method.
No, you just don't understand the methods.
Methods.
See, you said you put plural. I had singular. It's a method.
My point, Neil, is that
How do
they'll
you say
argue
it?
with
The
you
elucidation
because
of cause and
Neil,
effect?
my point is that you go to the teacher and say, "Why did you teach me pseudoscience as being real? Earth is measured flat." They go, "No, it isn't. Earth's measured a globe." You go, "No, it isn't. It's measured flat. Here's an example: elevation angles. They give you latitude. That made the globe." No, latitude works on a globe, they'll say. In other words, they're not going to thank you. They're not going to apologise. They're going to defend their position from ignorance, Dunning-Kruger style.
Well, then what the hell are we doing then? Then it's a waste of freaking time.
No, you're just impatient. And when it comes to actually having to put a bit of work in, like with the Earth Awakenings Discord server, you want to write them off and call them bitches. Like, no. They represent the people who watch us. They represent the audience. They represent the general public. Now, what you're finding is a lot of the general public don't like us. Nah, they probably don't. But on the other hand, they can still fight the good fight if they know it, regardless of if they like us or not.
Now, I have to defend myself. I did not call them bitches. Eli asked a question, and I said, because they're bitches, because they were acting like that throughout the whole show.
I'm glad you cleared that up for us. Meanwhile, we want them to be fighting the good fight like we want Dave Weiss to be fighting the good fight, don't we?
So when you define them as bitches, you weren't actually calling them bitches. You were just pointing out that they were bitches.
At the time, they were acting like a bunch of bitches. They did it with you, Adam. How long you been in the debate? Just yesterday? And then Nathan was on somebody. They chose to jump right in at the word coward. Right? At the word scumbag liar. Not the fact that he was a scumbag liar, but the word you used. I told you why. Because they built their channels listening to ballers protest against Nathan Oakley. He's mean. He doesn't let our arguments go. So that's how they built their channel. We're going to let them be heard all the way through. We're not going to be rude, and we're not going to call them names. We're going to stick to the arguments. They don't have any arguments.
Yeah, that's something we can remedy, though, isn't it, Neil?
Not if they built the whole channel being totally opposite of what you do.
Yeah, tell someone
Why do
like
you think they resist us when we came in? Stacy, the first thing she said, when did this happen? When did this happen? How do we know? And Rockfin had to take it through that. It's been arranged. Instead of being happy that we were there and we were going to disseminate truth and fact, no.
Yeah,
but that's just
Stacey should have rolled out the red carpet for us. Why did she not?
No, it doesn't matter. You're doing business, Neil. Yeah, this is business. I do lots of business with people I really actively dislike. Never mind, and kind of am apathetic about. Yeah, and I will deal with people also in business that I know hate me, don't care. They're to do business, and their obvious demeanor right off doesn't put me off. I'm there to do business. Got to put up with it. Be nice to have a hug and a cuddle. It's not necessary.
That's not what I'm asking for.
The point I'm making is I detect it just as much, but the way forward is with a smile, not a snarl at that point. Now, when they start getting arsey, we can stand up. But like with that last week, yeah, what's the point? But it's better to be recognised, isn't it, than not. Nathan who? What would he be talking about? At least they know what the topic's going to be, and they've already got a decision whether whether that's something they're interested in or not.
Just let me know when you're going in there, because I will not be going in there with you.
I went.
That's fine.
Saturday night on my own. It was very different, actually. They weren't really talking that. They was talking more about God and stuff, but I didn't find it. See, there's a difference, isn't there? Nathan Oakley coming on, yeah? People think they can get a medal, going to get a target, a little certificate. Yeah, then you've got the troll trying to get Nathan to say one particular line. Yeah, about, what was it? Horizontal or east, wasn't it? Yeah? So there's lots of snipers in those places. But I think as Nathan referred to Paul yesterday, that's happening. Know that you're over the target, yeah? If there are weasels, yeah, scumbag liars like that are being sent in to occupy your time, you know you're in the right place, don't you?
Just takes work, Neil.
I guess.
Got to have a certain amount of tenacity about you.
So what you're saying is The Godfather. It's nothing personal, strictly business, right, Adam?
Yeah. If I was doing street stuff, yeah. Now it's a very different type of interaction. You'll be snubbed much more rudely and looked at with such disdain, but you don't judge those people. Yeah, just not interested. And then there'll be people that will come along to take the piss. Some from universities because they've got degrees, just to take the piss to show you how clever they are. Doesn't matter. You got to take that on the chin, and it's the same in these formats. There's gonna be these people that, if you view it from the right point of view, will confirm to you that you're having an effect. Because if you weren't, they wouldn't be bothering trying to put you off.
You up for going in there tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm about, I think. So it's always.
Wow, that was encouraging.
Well, you got me. So yeah, I might be about, yeah.
I think one of the
Wait,
ideas
tomorrow's
that needs
Wednesday.
to
I
be
thought.
Go on, Mush.
Sorry, John. I thought Earth Awakenings was for Thursday and politics for Friday, because tomorrow's Wednesday.
There's no set day for anything really, other than politics. We've said we'll do a regular Friday slot. But I'm thinking, as we're now literally
Alright,
talking
fair
about
enough.
it, tomorrow might be more appropriate. Plus, it might be better that there isn't a set day in that server. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can see why. Yeah, definitely.
If they're expecting us on a Thursday, it might actually be better to see if we can make arrangements to go in tomorrow.
Exactly. All right. I'll be there.
So if it's nothing personal, strictly business, Adam, when do I get a chance to pull a Michael Corleone?
Before
I could give him one each in the head.
Before we
one
round
in
that
the
up,
throat and one in the head.
can someone contact Earth Awakenings? Let's make it official. Let's go in there tomorrow. Can someone drop him a line?
So yeah, so now you do want to let him know? You don't want to make it a surprise visit?
No, I don't want to make it a surprise visit, no.
All right, I'll tell Righteous to reach out to him.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Well, I think one of the biggest things we can help with is to get them to understand that this isn't a debate topic. Like, we're not looking for explanations about what is. And that's the biggest like when Neil said that about his son, that we don't have any answers. Well, it's a what is topic. It don't even make sense. What are you talking about?
John, we're
talking about what is in the physical. We're talking about what is in the physical world that has nothing to do with a friggin' explanation.
Yeah, we tried. They keep putting the celestial navigation as an argument, no matter how many times Nathan says it's a procedure. It ain't an argument.
Right, well, that's something we're going to have to try and convey to them tomorrow. But with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and Cheat Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, hitting me up on Ko-Fi and Patreon and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Another massive thank you to today's Discord and G Plus panels. I'll see you tomorrow in Earth Awakening's Discord server. I'll see you in the next video.
What a lovely day!